We begin with a beautiful story and then an unbelievable vart to drive the concept home even further. So in Eretz Yisrael, I remember when I was a bacher, young man there was a fellow by the name of Rabbi Yisrael Pesach Feinlander, a mechaber svarim, a tremendous Talmid Chacham. Actually, he was an American kid who grew up in Chicago and was plucked out of the high school university track. Eventually went to Eretz Yisrael, learned in the Chavon Yeshiva, and became a goyin b'Torah. Now, Rabbi Yisrael Pesach has a son who's well known in Eretz Yisrael, and his name is Rabbi Yoina Feinhandler. He's a mechanech, he's an educator par excellence, and a very sought-out speaker. One time he shared with a crowd of people, a group of people that he was speaking to, an absolutely incredible personal story. The story took place when he was a bacher in yeshiva. He was a high school boy, probably not more than 17 or 18 years old, and he was studying in Yeshivas Nachlas Halavim in Haifa. I had the schus of being in Nachlas Halavim in Haifa just before Rosh Hashanah. Beautiful yeshiva. In those days, to get from Yerushalayim to Haifa was a sipur. It was a story of 3-4 hours at least. The road that's used now to get to Haifa wasn't yet built. You had to take a bus and then another bus, and it took a long time. One day in the middle of the winter, on a cold, dreary, pouring rain day, like only in Eretz Yisrael we know the cold gets all the way into your bones. We saw Pesach Feinlander's son, Rabbi Yoina, is in his room. It's late at night. He's finished learning, and there's a knock at the door. He opens the door, and there's a bacher there, and a bacher says, "There's someone here in the lobby that wants to speak to you." He's trying to think to himself, who could come want to speak to me? And he walks downstairs to the lobby, and he sees a fellow, and the fellow has a plastic bag on his hat, and it's dripping with water, and he has a coat that's drenched through and through. He doesn't recognize the fellow. He gets a little closer, and he realizes it's his father, Rabbi Yisrael Pesach. He had just traveled from Yerushalayim on a cold, dreary, rainy night, 4 hours. So he quickly brings his father into his room. His father is dripping wet, and he's cold, and he gets his father a cup of hot water. That's all he was able to get him. His father drinks it. He says, "Tati, Abba, why are you here? Why'd you come?" He says, "Listen, I came to see you, find out how you're doing, etc., etc." He said, "You 4 hours here?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, "Actually, I came here to share something with you." And he reaches into the right pocket of his trench coat, and he pulls out a little round package wrapped in something and then in newspaper. And he reaches into his left pocket, and he pulls out another little round package, also wrapped, and he gives it to his son. He goes, "Actually, I came to bring these to you." His son is wondering what it is. He unwraps them, and they were 2 sufganiot, 2 jelly donuts. It was during Chodesh Kislev. He says, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I walked by a store, and I saw beautiful sufganiot, and I figured you would so appreciate sufganiot. So I got on the bus. I traveled 4 hours, and here, these are for you, and I'm going to go back." So he says to them, "Tati, you're here now. Do you want to come to the base medrash? Maybe some of the Rosh Hashivas or the Mashkichim are still here. You could talk to them and get a progress report, kind of like a mini parent-teacher conference." He goes, "No, I know you're learning Gevaldik. I just came here because I wanted to tell you that I was thinking about you. I care about you, and I love you." He put on his raincoat. He put the plastic bag on his hat. He wandered into the night for a 4-hour journey all the way back to Yerushalayim. You can imagine why Rabbi Yoina became such a great mechanech. You can imagine why Rabbi Yoina is such a Talmid Chacham and Marbitz Torah. It's because of the message that his father gave him, that he cared about him. It's because of the message that his father relayed to him with the Mesiras Nefesh of bringing 2 donuts from Yerushalayim all the way to Haifa just for his son. And I want to share with you an unbelievable vart that I saw from Rav Pam, and I think it's required listening to every parent. Rav Pam writes, he asked the following question. He wonders what it was that gave Yaakov Avinu the endurance, the inner fortitude and strength to be able to withstand the incredibly difficult and challenging life that he faced. He says, if you think about it for a moment, Yaakov gets the brachas from Yitzchak, so his life should be bliss. But from the moment he gets those brachas, his life becomes almost unbearable. Almost immediately after that, Eliphaz, Esav's son, comes to kill Yaakov. We know Chazal to teach us, he takes away every last penny that Yaakov has, so Yaakov should be considered like an ani, like a poor person. He should be considered like a dead person. Finally, he comes to Lavan, penniless. He sees Rachel. He knows this is his bazuk. He knows he has to build Klal Yisrael with her. And Lavan pulls the rug out from underneath Yaakov, and it's Leah. And he has to work 7 years for Rachel. And finally he does that. And then Lavan makes his life miserable. Yaakov is the Amuda Emes, the pillar of truth. And Lavan is the most devious, scheming, conniving Ramai. He's a trickster. And he has to live with this fellow. And he constantly tries to to get Yaakov, and Yaakov is living a difficult situation, and finally Yaakov is able to pry himself out from that difficult situation and to leave, and then Lavan comes and wants to kill him, and somehow he survives, and then his daughter Dinah is kidnapped by Shechem, and it's a terrible situation, and there's a war, and there's Shimon and Levi, and then finally it seems like things are calming down a little bit, and then he has the encounter with Esav, who wants to kill him again, and then maybe seems like things are settling down, and Rachel dies in childbirth of Binyamin, and it's just so difficult, and he's raising a Yaslim, and then to top everything off, Yosef is sold to Mitzrayim, and everything is so difficult in Yaakov Avinu's life. And like it says, Bikesh Yaakov Leisha B'Shalva, he just wanted a little tranquility. Ask Rav Pam, what gave Yaakov the inner strength, the koyches hanefesh, to continue to be successful, to become the Bechir Sheba Avos, the choice of the Avos, to become the father of the 12 Shvatim, to create the eternity of Klal Yisrael. As it says, D'mus Yuknoi Shel Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov's picture is embedded in the Kisei HaKavod, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu's holy throne. How did he earn that? So listen to what Rav Pam says, and listen well. Rav Pam says that when it came time for the brachas, Rivka put her life on the line so that Yaakov should get the brachas. We know Yaakov comes to his mother Rivka, and Rivka says, I want you to take the garments of Esav, and I want you to get the bracha. He goes, I can't do that. What happens if Tati catches me? And Rivka says, I know, it won't be good. He could divorce me. He could give a curse which could have eternal consequences. But Alai kilalascha b'ni, says Rivka to Yaakov. If anything happens, it's on me. I'm being meiser nefesh. I'm willing to put myself on the line, so you should get that bracha. Says Rav Pam that every time that life became so unbearable that Yaakov didn't know how he could go on, he thought about his mother Rivka and the mesiris nefesh that she had for his eternity, for his bracha, for his success. And he said, if this is what she was the meiser nefesh, if this is what she gave her life up for, well, then I have to continue living a life that will make her proud. I have to continue that legacy.